Dynamite
That's
pigeons.
it. That's it, Joe.
So this year we're going to try the widowed system.
Pigeon fanciers should remain under the sport and not become bigger than the sport.
I'm Koutsoudis from Koutsoudis Brothers. I'm a member of SAMPO. I'm actually a very proud member of SAMPO. I'm on the committee of SAMPO as the chairman of the appeals committee. I'm part of the Eastern Province Pigeon Union and a proud member of the strongest club in Port Elizabeth, Metropolitan Racing Pigeon Club. And my partner here next door is Michael. He can go further with a bit of information there.
Yeah, I'm Michael Koutsoudis. I'm Chris's brother. Been flying partners with my boot here since we started racing pigeons. I'm part of the same organization and club as him, and yeah, we do it together under the name Koutsoudis Brothers, and yeah, we've been enjoying pigeons together our whole lives. Yeah.
It must be about 30 years now.
Really that long?
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years now, yeah.
Okay, 2023 was a challenging year for us. We ended up 11th overall in the union and federation. In the single bird averages, in the all bird averages, if my memory is right, we ended up 8th in the all bird. In the one lofts, we had some success. We flew with under Gerbe and Koutsoudis at Denokeng. We ended up 4th in the team event, and one of the pigeons that Christopher bred ended up 2nd in the final. One of our birds that we bred won the 3rd race at Denokeng. And in the same year, 2023, yes, we had the ace bird at Carnival Lofts. The same pigeon was 3rd in the final race. So overall, we were happy with our season, but like pigeon fanciers go, you're always looking to do better. So hopefully 2024 we could achieve better results.
We got it basically pigeons that are based on Gabby van der Biele birds. We imported them from a place called Myrtle Lofts in Great Britain. Those birds we integrate with Huben pigeons that we got via the late Tom Chalmers, who got them from the Hubens themselves. We mix those birds with basically old Janssen family of ours that we've had that come from the Freek Romain birds, and we make up our own strain. Yeah, we call them Dynamite pigeons, purely because our late uncle that got us into pigeon racing had this sign on his loft, Dynamite pigeons. So
beware of dynamite pigeons.
That's it, yeah.
Just beware of dynamite pigeons.
So yeah, so we put those bloodlines together and we get performing birds. You know, we like to have the birds that breed performers generation after generation.
The pigeon that I'm holding here is 1005 2023. This little cock was the best bird in the union on the young bird races. I must also mention in the young bird races we flew 4 teams of youngsters, and we ended up 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the union. So when it comes to baby races, we can call ourselves experts, eh?
Yes.
I think we've been about 6 times union champion already with the babies. Yeah, this pigeon is a Van der Biele. It's a you can call it a purebred Van der Biele from Myrtle Lofts. The father or grandfather was Shadow, which is one of their famous pigeons, and the mother comes from the Den Bandit line, which was also a famous pigeon overseas. As you can see, the pigeons are molting at the moment, but this little hen has got an interesting story. We flew a very hard race from, where was that race? Yeah, from on the east route. It was quite a hard race. It was our longest race on the east route, and there were only 8 birds through on the night. 4 of them we had on the other side at Bird Drive, and we didn't have a bird over at this loft. And we left at about 8 o'clock the evening, and Michael said, no, we must wait, there's going to be a bird. We went to go and visit my parents, and they stay about 200 meters away from us, and we're standing outside, and Mike said, there's a bird. And I told him it can't be, but we came home and she came in the dark. We clocked at about 9 o'clock the evening, and she's raced very well for us ever since as well. So we'll call her our night flyer hen. Okay, the training is quite interesting. When we started with pigeons, we always used to weigh our food out, and a pigeon had to get a certain amount of food. And the birds performed well, but you always had problems that if the races got too hard and you underfed them, the birds wouldn't do that well. And about 4 years ago, a gentleman with the name of Martin Dyer, who helped quite a few pigeon fanciers. He never raced pigeons himself, but he had a feeling for pigeons and the feeding of pigeons. And he told us, Chris, Mike, feed your pigeons. Just feed your pigeons. And then we started feeding our birds as much as they want. And since then, our performance just went up. So coming to the pigeons, feeding is important. Give them as much as they want and train them hard. We do train reasonably hard. We go Mondays, we do about a 50 kilo toss, Tuesdays 80 kilos, Wednesdays 50 kilos, and then Thursdays basketing day they rest. The birds that don't go to the races do a toss on the Friday about 200 kilos. And then they rest until Monday again. So as much as racing and hard training is important, resting is just as important for the pigeons. When it comes to plans, and the word plan is always an inside joke, because you guys met Shane earlier, and every year I tell him, Shane, I've got a new plan. And he just laughs. He says, Chris, every year you come with something new. Can't you just stick to the same thing? And for us, pigeons is fun. So we don't, it's important to keep the basis the same, but we always come with something new. So this year, we're going to try the widowed system. We normally fly our birds separate, which is almost widowed, but they totally cocks and hens separate. They toss separate, they never mix. The only day they mix is on basketing day. Sorry, not basketing day, when they come back from the long toss on the Friday, and when they come back from the race. It's the only time the cocks and hens mix. We've set up the system now for widowed, and that's the never plan, like Shane would say, with a smile. We would like to, when we started, we moved from the previous premises where we were union champions there. It's a more challenging place where we stay, but we don't like making excuses. So the first year we raced, our goal was to be in the top 15, which we now achieved. And next year we would like to be in the top 10 in the union. And the year after, if we're lucky enough, in the top 5. So that's our long-term goal for the pigeons.
Well, guys, it's tough. We got the best birds from all over the world. The guys have been bringing birds into the $1 million race that's been held at Sun City previously. There's good local pigeons that have been here for years and years. So pigeon racing in South Africa, we can hold our best with the rest of the world. The birds are here and the fanciers are here. The sport is expensive, and there are fewer fanciers every year joining. But I still see the sport growing in South Africa. It's a beautiful sport, keeping the families at home, really making it a family thing. I'm very optimistic for the sport, pigeon racing is alive in South Africa.
I think it's important not to start the way we started. When we started pigeons, we got pigeons all over. No matter what it was, if it was a pigeon and had a ring, that's the pigeon you wanted, and your stock lots got full very quick. I think the best advice I can give is go to your local champions, see if you can get some birds from them. If the birds are too expensive, maybe buy some eggs. So you were going to have to buy some of those birds with rings on and use them as feeders. Buy eggs from the local champions and start off like that. I think that's important. I think it's also important to know that it's not the masses that make good pigeons, it's the quality. So instead of trying to breed more pigeons to fly better, try and breed better pigeons to fly better. And I think then you're going to be all right.
Pigeon racing must always be a sport. It mustn't be made anything bigger than that. And I think pigeon fanciers should remain under the sport and not become bigger than the sport. You know, if we can just be together, enjoy the sport together, and forward the sport, you know, then I think that's a good place to be. I've often made the mistake previously where it was about me and not so much about the pigeon. So every time something went wrong, I would look for the excuse at the pigeon. In the meantime, it was with me. So yeah, we got to just honor the pigeons, look after them, care for them, and yeah, honor every fancier. You know, everyone has a place in the sport. So yeah, I would say my closing remark, that would be the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to add that the guys in the sport, the younger guys in the sport, must get involved with the administration of the sport. Because if you're not getting involved with the administration, somewhere we're going to fall short, because we aren't getting younger. And the guys on the top there that are running the sport at the moment aren't getting younger. But the younger guys need to be trained up so they can be the leaders of the future. Yes. I think that's very important.